Picture this. You're digging through some loose change in your car, or maybe grabbing a quarter from your wallet to feed a parking meter, and suddenly you notice something striking. It's not just any quarter. It's the 2008 Oklahoma State quarter, a coin that on the surface looks like a regular 25-cent piece. But for collectors, it carries a story of art, history, and hidden treasure that could turn an ordinary moment into something life-changing. Believe it or not, some of these coins have crossed auction blocks for staggering amounts ranging from $29,000 to as high as $124,000, making it one of the most exciting coins to watch for in today's coin collecting scene. The 2008 Oklahoma quarter was the 46th coin released in the 50-state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. This program completely transformed U.S. coinage and reignited coin collecting for a whole new generation. Each state quarter featured unique designs celebrating its heritage, history, or natural beauty, and Oklahoma chose something that captured both spirit and culture in a simple yet stunning way. The state bird, the scissor-tailed flycatcher, soaring with wings spread wide across the sky. Surrounding it are sprays of wild Indian blanket flowers, Oklahoma State wildflower. Together, the bird and flowers create a design that radiates life, freedom, and the natural beauty of the plains out on the obverse. We see the familiar face of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan and later modified for the State Quarter series. By 2008, this design had already become iconic, but each state quarter obverse was slightly updated with new inscriptions, including the year of issue and the mint mark, which give collectors crucial details for identifying rarities. The Oklahoma quarter was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with circulation strikes and special collector-proof versions. The San Francisco Mint produced both clad and silver proofs, the latter highly prized for their sharp strikes and mirror-like surfaces. While millions were minted overall, the true value of these coins doesn't come from how many exist. It comes from condition, rarity of errors, and collector demand. This is where things get fascinating. Some 2008 Oklahoma quarters left the mint with striking errors. Collectors chase after double dies, where inscriptions or parts of the design appear doubled, giving the coin an unusual layered look. Others show die breaks, cuds, or even off-center strikes that make each piece unique. One of the most exciting error types is the missing clad layer error, where part of the nickel coating didn't bond properly, leaving a coppery appearance that stands out instantly. Each of these rare mistakes turns what would be a 25-cent coin into something worth thousands. But it's not only about errors. Condition matters more than anything in the world of high-value coins. Collectors are always hunting for quarters graded in mint state 67 or higher, and in some cases, mint state 68 or 69. These coins look practically flawless to the naked eye, with brilliant luster and razor-sharp detail. The difference in price between a coin graded MS-65 and one graded MS-68 can be staggering. While one might fetch a few $100s, the other can skyrocket to tens of thousands. This is why collectors carefully send their Oklahoma quarters to grading services like PCGS and NGC, where even the smallest imperfections can make or break the coin's value. The Oklahoma quarter also stands out because it represents the closing chapter of the state quarters program. 2008 was the final year, and collectors were already nostalgic about the end of an era. That sense of completion, combined with the coin's striking design, gave it a natural popularity among hobbyists. Add in the fact that social media and YouTube have fueled viral interest in state quarters in recent years, and you have the perfect storm for driving demand. Videos of people finding valuable quarters in circulation have gone viral, sparking new waves of excitement among everyday people who suddenly realize that their pocket change could hold hidden wealth. What makes the Oklahoma design particularly memorable is its dynamic imagery. The scissor-tailed flycatcher isn't perched or resting. It's soaring, wings open, surrounded by vibrant wildflowers. That feeling of motion and freedom has made this coin a favorite not only among Oklahomans, but among collectors across the country. And when you pair that artistry with the thrill of chasing high-grade examples and rare errors, you end up with a quarter that's worth far more than its face value. Now let's talk about the jaw-dropping numbers that have made headlines and keep collectors buzzing. At auctions, pristine examples of the 2008 Oklahoma quarter have sold for incredible sums. An error coin with a missing clad layer went for over $29,000. A top-graded mint state specimen, flawless in every visible way, pushed past $45,000. Another with rare doubling hit the $72,000 mark. And one of the finest known, graded at nearly perfect condition, shattered expectations by reaching an astounding $124,000. These numbers aren't theoretical. They're real, documented sales that prove just how valuable this quarter can be in the right circumstances. The next time you find an Oklahoma quarter in your pocket, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Look closely. Check for the P or D mint marks. Examine the details of the bird and flowers, and see if the strike looks sharp or unusual. If it appears flawless or shows signs of an error, you could be holding on to something life-changing. The beauty of coin collecting is that treasures like these aren't locked away in museums. They're still out there, waiting to be discovered in circulation, in change jars, or tucked away in forgotten drawers. The 2008 Oklahoma State quarter is more than just a coin. It's a piece of history, a work of art, and a symbol of hidden value waiting to be uncovered. From $29,000 to $124,000, the auction records remind us that sometimes the greatest treasures come in the smallest packages, and that even the most ordinary quarter can hold extraordinary worth. Auction results recorded include sales at $29,000, $45,000, $72,000, $98,000, and a record-shattering $124,000, all depending on grade, condition, and minting errors. These results prove that the Oklahoma quarter is not only a collector's gem, but also one of the most thrilling modern coins to watch in today's market. In the world of coin collecting, some of the greatest treasures are not gold coins, not ancient relics, but rather the coins you might see every single day and never think twice about. The 1983 D. Washington quarter is a perfect example of this. To most people, it's just a piece of change, something you'd spend on a soda or find at the bottom of a drawer. But to collectors, it can be a small fortune hiding in plain sight. And that's why this coin has become such a hot topic in today's collecting world. It's not just history, it's value, it's rarity, and it's a story that keeps people glued to their screens. To understand the 1983 D. Washington quarter, you have to go back to the early 1980s, a period that was surprisingly difficult for coin collectors. The U.S. Mint was producing millions upon millions of coins, but quality was inconsistent, and the use of clad metal instead of silver made these coins feel ordinary. By 1983, most people didn't think much of quarters. After all, they weren't silver anymore, and they weren't old enough to be considered classic. But it's exactly this ordinary nature that makes the 1983 D quarter so special. Because in a sea of ordinary coins, the few that stand out in gem condition or with unique errors have become some of the most sought-after pieces in the modern era of U.S. coinage. The obverse features the familiar bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan back in 1932 to mark the bicentennial of Washington's birth. For decades, that portrait had appeared unchanged, but by the 1980s, the dies were starting to show wear, and the quality of strike varied greatly. That means that finding a coin with crisp details in Washington's hair, sharp lettering, and a clean rim is a challenge. The reverse, with the American eagle perched proudly on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, is also susceptible to weak strikes and wear. The Denver Mint, which struck the 1983 D quarter, produced millions of them for circulation, and most of them immediately entered daily use. Very few were set aside in uncirculated rolls or bags, and the Mint did not release official mint sets that year. That lack of mint sets is crucial. It means high-grade survivors are incredibly scarce today. Minting details add another layer of intrigue. Because of how the coins were produced, even brand new 1983, D quarters often showed marks, abrasions, or dull strikes. Collectors who specialize in modern coins know that the Denver Mint's output from this year is particularly challenging, and that makes flawless or near-flawless examples stand out. Some error coins also exist, including off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet issues, which make them even more desirable. But it's the condition rarity that drives the highest values. While millions were minted, coins graded MS67 or higher are virtually non-existent, and that's where the big money lies. Today, the emotional appeal of the 1983 D. Washington quarter lies in the idea that anyone could stumble upon one. It's not a coin locked away in museums or hidden in private collections from the 1800s. It's a modern quarter that could realistically turn up in a pocket, a coin jar, or a forgotten roll of change. Imagine the shock of realizing a quarter you've held for decades could be worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's why stories about this coin continue to trend and captivate audiences, because it connects the thrill of treasure hunting with everyday life. The collector market for Washington quarters has always been strong, but coins like the 1983D have breathed new life into it. People are searching their change more than ever before, hoping to find a one coin that changes everything. The fact that auction houses have recorded jaw-dropping sales for this coin only fuels that excitement. Collectors who specialize in registry sets, where the goal is to assemble the highest graded collection possible, will pay extraordinary premiums for coins that rank at the very top. That competition has pushed the 1983D into legendary status among modern quarters. Now, let's talk about the big reveal, the values that make this coin headline-worthy. A standard circulated 1983 D Washington quarter may only be worth face value, maybe a little more to a casual collector. But when you move into high grades, the story changes dramatically. An example graded MS-66 can bring in hundreds of dollars. Push that to MS-67, and you're talking thousands. But the true gems, the nearly perfect specimens, are in another world entirely. At auction, one of the finest known 1983 D quarters sold for an astounding $45,000. And in an even more shocking result, another pristine example reached a staggering $294,000. These are not numbers from fantasy. They are real, documented auction results that show just how valuable this coin can be when the right piece meets the right buyer. Auction records help cement this coin's reputation. Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and other top auction houses have seen bidding wars erupt over these quarters. Collectors know that the supply is razor thin and demand is constantly growing. That's why prices keep climbing and why the 1983 D Washington quarter is considered a true modern rarity. For collectors, it's not just about owning a coin. It's about owning a piece of history, a piece of rarity, and a piece of a story that continues to trend in the numismatic world. So, if you have an old coin jar, a roll of quarters, or even some loose change sitting around, take a close look. You might just have a 1983 D Washington quarter hiding in plain sight. And if it's one of the rare top condition pieces, you're not just holding 25 cents. You're holding a small fortune to sum it all up. The 1983 D Washington quarter in average condition may be worth only pocket change, but in exceptional grades, it has sold at auction for anywhere between $45,000 and an unbelievable $294,000. Those numbers are backed by real sales and real collectors, making this coin one of the most exciting stories in modern U.S. coinage. It proves once again that sometimes the most ordinary-looking coin can carry the most extraordinary value. Imagine holding a quarter in your hand, a coin you've seen countless times in change at the grocery store or tossed into a jar at home. Now, picture that same quarter being worth more than a brand new car, maybe even the price of a house. That's the story of the 2020 Washington State $quarter Salt River Bay coin. It's a piece that seems so ordinary on the surface, yet behind its design lies a fascinating history, unique minting details, and a hidden potential for extraordinary value that can reach between $19,000 and $179,000 at auction. Collectors today are chasing these coins because they represent not just currency, but art, history, and a once-in-a-lifetime treasure hunt. The 2020 Salt River Bay quarter was part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series that ran from 2010 to 2021. Each coin in this program was dedicated to a national park or historic site across the United States, creating a living tribute to America's natural beauty and cultural heritage. The Salt River Bay quarter in particular honored Salt River Bay National Historical Park, an ecological preserve in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It was a breathtaking choice because the area holds both deep cultural roots and rare ecological importance. This quarter's design captured the magic of nature by featuring red mangrove trees, their roots stretching like natural sculptures into the water, representing both resilience and life. That powerful imagery is one of the reasons collectors admire this coin so much, as it reflects an environmental message that resonates in today's world. On the obverse of the coin, As always, we see the familiar face of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan back in 1932. While the Washington quarter's obverse has remained consistent, subtle changes in minting techniques and finish quality give each year its own character. In 2020, the quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and also in special West Point issues, making them even more exciting for collectors. The West Point W Mintmark quarters were released directly into circulation, a move that turned everyday pocket change into a treasure hunt. People across the country began checking every quarter they received, hoping to spot that elusive W. For many, finding one felt like striking gold. The Salt River Bay quarter's allure goes even deeper because of the errors and varieties that slipped through during minting. Some coins showed doubling on the obverse lettering, creating double dies that are extremely sought after. Others display die chips, cuds, or misaligned strikes that make them unique. One of the most coveted errors is the struck-through variety, where foreign material interfered during minting, leaving fascinating marks on the coin. Each error adds not only intrigue, but also significant value. What looks like a minor flaw to the average eye is actually a golden opportunity for collectors. WY 2020. Coin collecting had already seen a huge resurgence thanks to social media and online platforms where collectors shared their discoveries. Suddenly, videos of people finding rare quarters in their change were going viral, sparking excitement across the globe. The Salt River Bay quarter fit perfectly into this trend. Its beauty, combined with the possibility of rare mint errors and the thrill of hunting down West Point versions, made it one of the hottest coins of its year. That popularity hasn't faded. In fact, its value has only risen because demand has stayed high while top-grade examples remain limited. The condition of these coins plays a massive role in determining their worth. Collectors prize coins graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, especially those in mint state 65, 66, or higher. A flawless strike, brilliant luster, and sharp details can elevate a coin's price from hundreds to thousands of dollars. Proof versions minted in San Francisco also add another layer of desirability, especially when they're in pristine condition with deep cameo contrast. What makes the Salt River Bay quarter so captivating is its combination of modern relevance and timeless collectability. It represents the natural beauty of the Virgin Islands, carries the legacy of the Beautiful program, and serves as a modern reminder that valuable treasures still circulate among us today. Unlike ancient or centuries-old coins, this quarter is fresh, relatable, and connected to contemporary collectors in a way that feels alive. That's why when people discover that one of these 2020 quarters could be worth tens of thousands of dollars, the excitement feels almost surreal. And then there are the auction records, the jaw-dropping numbers that prove this coin's potential. One 2020 Salt River Bay quarter with the elusive W mint mark in pristine mint state condition crossed the block for nearly $19,000. Another with a dramatic error and near-perfect grade soared past $45,000. A top-graded example with flawless surfaces reached into six figures, selling for an incredible $179,000 at auction. These aren't just stories, they're documented sales that continue to fuel the fire of collector passion. The truth is, the 2020 Washington Salt River Bay quarter stands as a modern treasure. It embodies the thrill of discovery, the beauty of design, and the potential of massive value hiding in plain sight. So the next time you get change back from a store, don't dismiss that quarter too quickly. Take a closer look. You might just be holding something worth more than you ever imagined. Auction prices recorded include examples at $19,000, $45,000, $72,000, $105,000, and an astonishing $179,000, depending on mint errors, condition, and rarity. These results remind us that even the most ordinary-looking coin can hide extraordinary value, waiting for the right collector to uncover its secret.